is a graphic novel, and its aim is to raise awareness about digital security issues in Iran. And it does it through a storytelling process of the narrative of a group of friends in Iran who are trying to create a startup that does sexual health consulting. And as they're trying to do this, they face a lot of different difficulties. So through the patients and clients that they help, they encounter different risks and dangers for them that they sort of explain. And there's also certain dangers that they experience as a successful startup organization in Iran. So the story kind of is based around one kind of lesson for each episode. It's one kind of tech issue that comes up, and they sort of resolve it. So for example, in one episode, there's one client who is in an abusive relationship, and she's seeking counseling from one of the sexual health therapists at the organization, which is also called Jensiat in the story. And she discovers that her boyfriend is actually hacking into her social media and is reading her messages. And so the episode sort of goes around how an individual can protect their passwords, how they can protect their accounts from prying eyes and from hacking. And then it goes over to more riskier territory, such as malware attacks and phishing emails, and how Iranians can sort of work around that, avoid those kinds of dangers. And Jensiat in Persian means, roughly translates into sexuality or gender. And so one of the underlying themes of the project is also to make tech not seem like something that's relegated to the male domain. So we have women who are giving advice on tech matters in the project, and there's also kind of an underlying tone of trying to neutralize biases towards women throughout the project. Like the female characters encounter uncomfortable male gazes or uncomfortable attention from men, and it sort of tries to bring awareness on that level as well. I mean, the first episode of our project starts with a case of domestic rape, and sort of how this girl sort of deals with that, and the dangers of a potentially dangerous domestic relationship with a male partner. And but the point is to create sort of this image of a strong female lead who in the end becomes one of the sort of mentor figures throughout the story, and for the readers, in order to understand these sometimes complicated tech aspects and concerns for Iranians. The reason why we thought the graphic novel would be the best way to do this is because there exists so many materials in the Persian language of translations of digital security manuals, of different kinds of trainings in order to get Iranians to have better password security, to have to enable two-factor verification, to explain what encryption is. And oftentimes these materials are ineffective in reaching kind of everyday audiences. So our point was to be able to reach everyday audiences in that way. And I guess we had the sort of precedent of successful graphic novel projects like Persepolis and Zahra's Paradise, which were stories that also conveyed kind of complicated themes for everyday audiences in really clear, accessible ways. And so that was our main thinking of kind of communicating these lessons and these themes through a graphic novel.